Oh, it's day 36. I just there about to yam out this lick half a catter, but I really can't because this part is I opened it too early, so this part down here at the bottom didn't ripen yet. I'm not really about eating things that aren't all the way ripe yet, because as a kid if I ate a banana or something that wasn't it hadn't properly ripened itself, properly ripened, it'd run my belly. Oh my god. It would keep my belly. I wouldn't be able to shit. And then after, kaboom! So, I only eat fruits when it's properly ripened. But anyways, today I just want to talk about something real quick. I don't know who's still along. Who's watched the previous 35 submissions of my vlogging for this fast that I'm doing. But this fast has definitely affected how I see my eating lifestyle continuing for the rest of my life. For folks who are very spiritual, majority of this planet says they are. It's important to understand that spirit always holds its end of the bargain. You never have to worry about due diligence when it comes to spiritual. And then people get confused because they think spiritual is when you close your eyes and not think about anything and it's just up in space. And no, man. Spirit is when you align your physical actions of your day to day with how the universe runs. So people are like, well, how does the universe run? Well, there's a lot of studies that pinpoint certain areas that are very clear to us right now on how the universe moves. So, for instance, science knows a lot of different things about our universe. And, they're like gravity. You jump off a bridge, you're going to go down. And they study the reality of that so that they know it's a fact, it's a truth. So that people don't go off jumping off buildings thinking that they're going to go up. They know they're going to go down. So science explains and lets us know that. But there's so many things that science can't explain. Because with gravity, knowing that it can fall, they don't know what creates gravity. Okay, so religion. Religion says what creates gravity, what creates us, what creates everything is God. Right? And they're like, so we worship God. But they don't know who God is. So now you have the scientists who say we know how everything works, but we don't know who made it. Then you have religion that says we know who made it, but we just don't know who that person is or what that entity is. Well, today I'm going to just quickly explain to you all that. Seems like it's a lot, but it's not going to take a long time. All right, and I can't take a long time. I have clients on their way. But you are God. Understand what's God? Who's like he is the person giving me all my thoughts. The person who created this planet, this world, this universe. Science understands that creation requires creator, or you wouldn't call it creation. So if you want it, whether you want to say manifestation, there's someone who manifested. There's someone where there's been one clear trend across the board of all studies of human culture, that things don't just happen. There is always a preceding event. So that's why they say the universe is a vacuum, because the universe has always existed in some form, and just energies transfer from one to the other. If you plug in your oven, that's electricity, but the burners transform that electrical energy into heat, and then that heat, you could put a a pot of boiling hot dogs on that burner, and the heat will transfer into the water and heat up the water and heat up the hot dogs to the point where the water evaporates and transfers energy into another state, to the point where now there's no more water left inside the container. It's just the hot dogs, to the point where the hot dogs are getting so hot, but there's another now transfer of energy from the hot dog in its original state that you wanted to eat it in to its burnt state where it's been oxidized, or carbon. Like it's just a bunch of burnt dog. You don't want to eat that shit. But there's been a transfer from electricity to burnt dog. The electricity ain't the hot dog, but it allowed for a burnt hot dog. So if you came into the situation just seeing the boiling pot, you think the pot is the reason for the burnt hot dog. If you understand electricity, you'll understand that that source is what is responsible for the burnt hot dog. But in that situation, we always can pinpoint the beginning, because humans were here before all these technological advances that allow us to think beginning end. I started cooking food, I finished cooking food, I started eating, I finished eating. But these are things that we have done. So it's anytime we think of creation, it's hard for us to bring that loop full circle. How could that loop connect to say that there was never a beginning and never an ending? Transfer of energy. Because that burnt hot dog, as carbon, decomposes into the ground, and the world renews itself. So the universe renews itself. Exploding stars are the matter that creates new stars. So it's a continuing cycle of destruction to create new things again. Similarly, on this planet now, we think of God, think of all these things. We want to know who that guy is so that we can have a clear understanding of our beginning. But we've never had a beginning. We've always existed in different states and different forms. So now, in this current form of as humans, we have a specific role to play. The burnt hot dog plays a different role in that lineup than the electricity. And you may want to try and connect how they work together and create some causation to say who is more important than who. But you take one of those things out of the situation and you don't have the connection. Take the burnt hot dog out, you don't have that oxidized item that's going to decompose in the ground or whatever, break up and just, hopefully, cause for the cycle of life to continue again. You take out the electricity, you don't even have the source to burn the hot dog. Right? So you have to now realize that regardless of our role, we're all important in the situation. So now, if we're all important, but we're looking for the most important person, then we should no longer be looking outside. We should be looking internally. So being spiritual is saying, I want to find God, because science says that there is a creator. Religion says, yes, we feel we know who he is, but life says that every decision I make has come from inside. We say from the heart, my soul, but it's in your brain, man. Your brain is doing all kinds of electrical processes so that you can think the way you think. Like, if you understand anything about science, what creates electricity, which is the rubbing of like a carbon, like a carbon tube on aluminum foil or something? Wool, iron wool, I believe. Man, I don't remember a lot of these things, man, so I gotta do some more research, disclaimer. But the reality is, electricity is formed by somebody rubbing elements together. So even when you have an engine, it still requires a battery. The engine runs itself as soon as the battery sparks the plugs to get the motion going, and then the battery just chills there and feeds off of the engine's alternator, keeping the battery charged. So we've already created systems that sustain themselves, but we still can't take those parallels and look at life. In order for you to live the most successful life ever, everyone must live the most successful life ever. And once we understand that, then legislation, then laws, then everything, culture will line up to how the universe works, and then our human population will be much happier and will be living in the postmodern age. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I don't know if that clears up things for people or just makes more questions, but look, if you're not eating properly, you ain't gonna think properly. Because as I eat this avocado, it breaks down into molecular form, and my body eats not the avocado, but the nutrients in electronic form to feed my body, my brain, and everything. So if you're not giving your body the proper nutrients that can break down and be absorbed by cells, if you understand how cells absorb food, how they literally take food into through their cell walls to feed themselves, whether it be plant cells or animal cells, then you'll understand how your body takes food from your intestinal system, takes nutrients through your intestinal system. You don't eat at the end when, like, the food went through the entire system, feeding you the entire way through. And then when you shit, it's because that was the stuff your body couldn't use. But people don't look at their shit to see what their body couldn't use, to understand how much of that shit is actually the original food they ate, and it just rotted in their body and ended up at the end. So there's a lot of learning curves that people got to go on. But the first thing I would invite you to do is just embrace spirituality. The easiest way to embrace spirituality is to embrace technology. Once you embrace technology, you think about innovation, you think about new and greatest ideas. Because a technological advance does not exist unless it's better than all the previous advances before it. So technology has actually created a fundamental way of ensuring truth thrives. So you embrace technology and you use the understanding of that culture, like the culture of technology, to champion everything else and all the other aspects of your life. I think you'll begin to create a better system for yourself. You know, so you don't have to really think about, oh, I gotta pray to that. Just think about applying technology in your life. And you may not be able to afford all the things that you want technologically, because I'm not talking about cool gadgets, right? Comb, a brush, that's technology. Because prior to that comb or brush, you had to use your hands or twig or something to comb your hair to put it in some type of style. So technology is simply innovation to the greatest degree. And once we accept that and accept some of the other things I've been saying, I'm telling you, man, this world will be a lot better. So, yeah. Oh, time's going. All right, peace.